Alright, so how I met my ex. At the time, I believe I was either 19 or 20. I was in the military. I had done one deployment to Iraq. I was getting ready to go into another deployment around the Mediterranean. And I was in North Carolina going up to Ohio, driving, visiting a friend up there, on vacation or whatever. And you know how everybody kind of, I don't know, maybe this is just a thing I do, but when you're driving as a guy and you see a hot girl, you kind of maybe mess with her a little bit, kind of get in front of her, get the other lane, and kind of mess. Did anybody else do that? I don't know.
I don't think I've ever done that.
No,
I make eye contact, primal eye contact.
I've done it a few times, and I guess I did this with her. I noticed she kind of went off to a rest stop. I'll just follow this stranger to the rest stop. So I did that, and she got out and went to use the restroom, her dog was peeing or whatever. So I just went up and talked to her or whatever, and got her number, and went up to the friend's house. And the next night I was with her. So I guess we were fucking within 36 hours of knowing each other.
Was this near Camp Lejeune or?
No, this was up in Ohio.
Okay,
because I was going up to Ohio to visit a friend. So that probably wasn't the best. Well, originally, because I talked to her, and I was in Camp Lejeune, which is Jacksonville, North Carolina, and at the time, she was living in Wilmington, which is 45 minutes away, and we just randomly met on the highway going up to Ohio. So I'm oh, this is a chick I know. On the weekends, I can go down to Wilmington, and somehow it got to where she, we were, living together. So.
Well.
It moved very quick.
It usually does, and it usually ends quick. And I know that from experience.
Yeah. Because, I was young, so...
Oh, yeah. What, what demolished the relationship?
A number of things. I think it was because I was said to be an asshole. I think a big thing of it, too, was... because I got married a few days before I went to Iraq again, and I think I shouldn't have done that. Essentially, is what it was. But if you go to Iraq once, you're oh, I'm especially after what happened the first time. The second time, I'm oh, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to die. So I'm oh, I'll just get married so I can fully experience love. Then you get back and you're oh, okay. Okay, great.
How do I get out of this?
We should have stayed dating or whatever, but also it's an issue in the military because when you get in the military and you get married, you're able to move out of the barracks, and you get you can get an extra grand each month because I got married, so I was making $4,000 a month now.
Yeah, it increases your pay, right?
Yeah, because essentially you get your paycheck in the military, and the government pays for your housing and food costs, but if you get married, you can live out in town and get the housing and food costs, which is, I think, the housing cost is around $800, and the food cost is an extra $200 or $300, so you can get that straight into your pocket now.
Nice.
So, but getting married in the contract is kind of in the military is a big issue, even when there's contract marriages with strippers out in town and shit.
So y'all finally got a place together in Ohio.
Yeah, we, because I got out of the military and stayed in Jacksonville, North Carolina to go to community college for 2 years while I was using the GI Bill. Then her family is up in Ohio, so we decided to move up there, and I went and finished I went up there to do my bachelor's in fine arts. So then we separated a year after college. After I got done with college, because I think, too, she thought I was going to get, a bachelor's and work, a 9-to-5 job and get all this. And, no, I went to school for art, so I'm going to do art, whether it means I'm going to be in poverty for a while or not. And she wasn't. Money was a big issue. She wasn't cool with that.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So in the military, I was making, a ton of money. Then when I got out, because after I got out, I got out August 2008. So that was when that whole housing bubble, began to burst. So I couldn't get a job. So I ended up getting, after a year or so, and I got disability through. So I ended up I was on unemployment, which is $1,600 a month. Disability was $1,300 or $1,400 a month. And GI Bill was another $1,500 a month.
Jesus.
So I was going to school, not working, making $4,500 a month.
Jeez.
Then somehow, I don't know where it's at.
I know where it's at.
Well, it's funny because when I got my disability, because it takes a long while to get your disability through, so they have to like back pay you.
Mm-hmm.
And since I did it like fairly soon within getting out, they back paid me to my EAS when I got out date. So I got like a check for like $19,000. And she bought like $1,000 sofa, $1,000 washer and dryer, $1,000 king size California bed. So
Hypergamy. Now, didn't she get upset over you buying art supplies once or something? Like?
yeah, because I'd buy some stuff. She's like, "Oh, it feels like you have an affair with art," because she'd go behind my back and buy art supplies. So I'd go out and buy canvas or paint or whatever, which is, I mean, some of the paint's expensive.
Y'all just didn't need to get married. I'm not judging it.
No, I mean, that's what it was.
You know, no regrets, but that's, you know.
No, we should have just stayed dating. If we stayed dating, that would have been fine. I mean, she's like the problem child in her family, too. So.
Well, imagine the attraction.
I mean, like, her. This is going to get out to her. She'll never watch it. Anyway, like her, like she's like the. I mean, her mother and father like work jobs are fine. Her sister's like married with kids. It's just she was like an issue child growing up and stuff, which is a big issue why she moved down to North Carolina with her friend like right after, because I think she went to an OSU satellite college for like 6 months and racked up credit card debt and something. Then like moved down to North Carolina away from everybody and yeah.
That's why she was picking up Marines at a rest stop.
Maybe.
So tell us about that faithful night there at the dinner at her parents' house, where it just pretty much went at the straw that broke the camel's back. Where
which one?
You said you had dinner at her parents' house one night and some flatulence erupted.
Oh, well, it was at her sister's place.
Okay, that's where it was.
But her parents was there, and I like joking around with people, so I kind of I fucking went up and like farted on her because I thought it'd be funny. But apparently it wasn't.
Did you fart in her face?
Pretty much.
You see, you farted in her face at a family dinner.
Well, it wasn't on her face. It's like kind of like right beside of her.
How far? What? Half foot?
Like maybe like on her shoulder area. I thought it would have been funny, but apparently it wasn't.
It's bad enough you're having a love affair with art. You turn over and just blow chunks at your ass right in her face.
Went right in her face, but yeah. But like she got mad. She just wanted to leave right then, but we stayed. But yeah, it's just.
Are y'all legally still married though?
Yeah.
And she left when?
4.5 years ago.
Oh fuck.
Well, it costs money to get an actual.
I know it.
Divorce.
Don't do it again.
No, I'm trying to get this through so I can get another one.
You might as well have you some kids if you're gonna do that.
Might as well.
I mean, as long as this is drug out, you could have raised an 18-year-old child almost.
I might have a
Iraqi baby.
No. There's this one fat chick. It was
one fat chick.
A 13-year-old, 12-year-old kid, maybe.
What the hell is this?
Possibility.
What the hell is this?
There was one night, like, you get drunk Marines go out or whatever, and, like, I was just there drinking, and somebody wanted me to be, like, his wingman or whatever. So kind of like, so I was a wingman for this, like, one fat chick, and, like, I was 19, and she was, like, 29 or whatever. But ended up, like, I guess she liked me. I was drunk, I was horny, I was pissed off. Then she ended up paying for, like, the hotel room, so I'm like, fine, fuck it, whatever. But, it was also, like, the first night, went back to her place she was staying and, like, kind of fucked her, and we thought the people in the living room were sleeping, but they weren't. Then the next night, she bought, like, a hotel room. And then she's also saying, like, oh, if I was still in college, like, me and my 8 sorority sisters would take, like, one guy and have, like, one guy and, like, 9 women, like, fuck. I'm like, you gotta get that shit together.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking reverse gangbang.
Yeah.
That's some John Cena shit.
It's a Kevin off.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. But she was like a fat chick, so she wanted me to like cum in her mouth and all that shit too.
Yeah, fat girls are good at
Head.
sucking dick because they know that they're less attractive than the guy that they're pleasuring, so they enjoy pleasuring him. It's like an honor to be in his presence and to suck his dick.
So is that.
So, where was this? Like, where was this at? Have you ever tried to just to double check, look up on social media or anything to see if the kid looks like you or anything?
I mean, I wore a condom the one night, but
The one night?
Yeah, the one night.
How many nights was it?
2.
And you didn't the second night?
First night.
You didn't the first night?
Yeah. When it was just in some random living room.
So what were you? You were drunk, mad, horny, and angry, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lethal combination.
But the thing is, like in the second night, because I seen her pulling up for the hotel room, but it looked like she pulled up and like took a wedding ring off. Then I wasn't sure, so.
Oh my God, Pac! She's done cucked somebody.
Maybe.
Some liberal beta male is raising your seed.
It's a possibility.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
We create babies. We just don't make the best daddies.
I mean, if we're on the subject of all this too, there's
Oh, we're on the subject always.
There's one girl that like I came up to North Carolina from Jacksonville one weekend, and like there's like this one girl just like randomly gave her a phone number, so I was talking to her. I might have been 19 or 20 time. Like later, I was talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, like I came up to North Carolina for whatever reason that weekend." She's like, "Oh, I just turned 18, and then my friends want to hang out or whatever." Then we hung out, and her face wasn't great, but her body was okay.
She's a butterface. Everything looked good but her face.
Then she was wanting to fuck or whatever, but I'm like, I don't want to spend $50 on a hotel room on her because her face wasn't great. So we ended up like driving around. Somehow, like this is like in the middle of the night, I drove up into Virginia, found a house for sale, and there's like a tree house on the property, so we like broke in, went in the tree house, and then I fucked her, then we like left and never talked again.
The Simpsons treehouse of horror.
Thinking about it now, I probably should have spent $50 and I drove around. Well, actually we went to Tanglewood Park first, and I was going to like do it in the back of the car, the back of the clips, but she didn't want to do it in the back of the Eclipse.
We've all been in those situations.
Then there's that one chick that came in every weekend when I had the van.
Yes, I remember this because...
I'm not going to say any of their names.
No, long story short, you met her at Walmart because I've seen the whole thing.
No, I ran into... No, this was another chick.
Chick.
This was the crazy friend.
Well, she was there, right? They were both together, those two girls?
At one point they were. So,
It's like 2005.
There was a buddy... There was a guy I know in high school. I don't want to say his name because...
Right.
But I kind of like started hanging out with him a little bit, like after high school, like before I went to Iraq the first time. Then me and him kind of went on this double date with these two girls that I believe went to East Surrey High School.
Oh, Jesus.
Then he went with is that bad?
Yeah. East Surrey High School?
I don't know. He, like on the double date, he was with the brunette chick that I ended up getting with the blonde chick. Like, that's how we got teamed up, or whatever you want to call it. Then that night, like, the brunette didn't really want anything to do with him. Then, like, the blonde was, like, trying to make out with me crazy. But also the whole night, I think I had the van at this time, too. Also the whole night, like, I was driving the van because it fit more people. And I'd look in the rearview mirror at the brunette chick. Or whatever. And she's like, oh, I ended up talking to just her at one point. She's like, oh, I thought you were mad at me or something. Like, no, you're beautiful. I was, like, looking at you. So even though I made out with the blonde chick, I didn't want her. Then the brunette didn't want anything to do with him, but I ended up hooking up with the brunette several times, coming in on the weekend to park the van somewhere and do whatever.
I just remember one time you came in and one of these girls you were seeing, actually you were seeing her friend, I think. Maybe the same. I don't know if the same girls or not. But one girl you were talking to, and
I think it was the crazy blonde at Walmart.
Yes, it was.
The one I originally made out with, and I wanted her friend.
Yes.
And then I got with her friend.
The one you lost the condom off inside of.
That was the brunette, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're at Walmart, and she comes walking by, and it's like me and a couple of buddies. This whole gang. We're like 19 years old. We're all just sitting there, on your van. She knows it's your van. And you're nowhere around. We're all just like sitting on it, like staring at her, like sitting on the hood, the back's open. Everybody's sitting on your minivan, like staring at her and like, I don't know. We hadn't seen Chris. We have no idea where Chris is.
We're just like inside, like bouncing around, screaming and shit.
Yeah, we're like completely like basically occupying your vehicle, but we hadn't seen Chris in forever. We have no idea where he's at. For last I heard, he's in Bar Province. That was funny, but
because I think she like came up to the van. She's like, "I know you're in there. I can like hear you or see you or something like that." I'm like,
she was psychotic.
I think she might have been pregnant at the time too.
This is common with girls in small towns because they have just the bottom of the barrel of men to scrape from. And so if they can run up on a guy that's got a decent career or a military man that's going around doing stuff, doing alpha stuff, that's got money coming in, they'll do anything. They'll do anything. Like girls will screw each other over real quick if they can find a better man. Like a guy, I'm not saying dudes don't screw their friends' girls, but women do stuff like that more often. If a guy's friend has a girl he likes, he'll be like, man, I got to find a girl like that. But a woman will be like, if her friend is dating a guy and she likes him, she won't say, I've got to find a man like that. It's, I want that man right there. And that's what happened with you. That girl wanted you and you wanted her friend. And so.
I mean, me and her friend kind of dated for a short amount, I guess you can say. For like a couple of weeks.
Y'all were fucking up there behind the, not the meat center, but there's a meat market in there below Mayberry Mall, wouldn't you? Didn't y'all pull
below.
Yeah, y'all pulled y'all that little fucking minivan up there and laid it down.
Yeah.
You showed her what time it was. What I want you to do now, I want your commentary just because I think this would be great to tie it in. And this can go on and on and on, but I think it'd be good to tie in what you think about Mount Airy and the Corey Coe, Stephen Metter saga.